Nightmare gets written off as bad money and not worth the effort. But as a group boss, it's not only great fun to smash out in a mass or just with the boys, it's also one of the best places to practice real PvM skills. This fight has everything. Prayer switching, movement, extra spawns. If you want to get better at PvM without grinding a boss solo, this is the one. Plenty of sweaty players gatekeep content like raids. If you don't have the gear or enough kill count, you might not get invited, but they can't stop you here. Anyone can join in the fun on one of the Nightmare mass worlds, so get involved. Before we get into the gear and mechanics, let's be clear about what Nightmare is and what it isn't. This isn't a boss you do to print GP. The uniques are expensive, sure, but they're rare and the regular loot is pretty trash. What Nightmare is good for is learning real PvM in a group. RuneScape isn't just about responding to the boss. In group content, other players can grief you too. This is a great place to learn how to stay calm if things get messy, and trust me, they will. It's the boss you can do when you want group content that actually challenges you. Not brain dead like God Wars, but also not inaccessible like raiding can feel when you're first getting into it. Nightmare is located in the Sisterhood Sanctuary underneath Slep in Mauritania. If you're a first timer, the easiest way to get here is using a Draken's Medallion to the Theatre of Blood and running south. Alternatively, if you haven't got a Draken's Medallion, you can use the Ectophile to Port Phasmatis, then take the rowboat down to Slep for 10k. Later on, once you start doing Fasani's Nightmare, the solo hard mode version of the fight, you can unlock the Sleepy Tablet, which upgrades your Draken's Medallion to teleport you straight to the Nightmare. Nightmare works at pretty much any group size, and that's one of the best things about it. In a mass, 5 players or more, it's very forgiving. If you're a total noob like me, you can make mistakes, learn the mechanics, and nobody's expecting you to even survive. If you do die, the death costs are locked to 60k, which is pretty affordable compared to a lot of encounters. If you just want to run with a few friends, smaller teams do get more intense. Honestly, starting in a mass world with a big group of randoms is the best way to get into Nightmare. Because you're learning this in a mass world, stats don't matter as much. If you master the mechanics, you'll survive the fight. But I'd recommend at least 85 HP for a bit of survivability for when you make mistakes. Let's talk gear, and I'll be straight with you, this is the minimum if you want to actually deal reasonable damage. Show up with less and you'll be hitting more zeros than you'll find in the club at 4 AM. You absolutely need a crush weapon at Nightmare, it's non-negotiable. For the rest of your armor, you want to stack strength bonus and crush accuracy wherever you can. Defense doesn't matter much here. Nightmare hits like a truck, even in full tank gear, so don't even look at the defense bonuses. Best in slot is full Inquisitor with an Inquisitor's Mace or Scythe, but that's not what we're here for. This is the minimum setup I'd recommend. If you're unsure whether something you have is an upgrade, double check the wiki. The Nightmare strategy guide has loads of useful information. A Zamarakian Hasta has crush accuracy and it's fairly affordable, and more than enough to start. Make sure it's set to crush. Your attack style really matters here. The Helm of Nitazo is an obvious choice, a classic still doing its job in 2026. Amulet of Glory is cheap and cheerful, more than good enough to start. A Fire Cape, if you've got one, wear it. If not, why not? Go watch my Fight Caves guide and come back. Obsidian Legs, a solid strength and crush bonus without spending millions, perfect for Nightmare. A Dragon Defender, an essential unlock for any account. Big strength and accuracy boosts for completely free. Any God Blessing, just a bit of prayer bonus, don't overthink it. Barrow's Gloves, another item every account should already have. Mixed Hide Boots, perfectly adequate, no need to get fancy. A Berserker Ring or a Light Bearer are great. Berserker for raw damage, and a Light Bearer if you've got a decent spec weapon. Speaking of specs, defense reduction weapons like a Dragon Warhammer or BGS are great if you have them. If not, normal DPS specs like Dragon Claws or Burning Claws are totally fine. Your spec isn't going to make or break this fight, especially in a mass, so don't overthink it. You'll also need a Mage Switch. You can bring an 8-way switch if you're an absolute sweatlord, but a 4-way is more than enough for Nightmare. Magic accuracy doesn't really help here, you need to prioritize magic damage. A weapon, top, bottoms, and either a piece of jewelry or a cape is all you need. For your weapon, a Trident of the Seas, Trident of the Swamp, or a Twin Flame Staff are all solid options. Just make sure they're charged or that you've actually bought the runes if you're using normal spellbook spells. For your armor, bloodbark top and bottoms is perfect, and an occult necklace if you've got one. As always, make upgrades if you've got them. For the core of your inventory, you'll want at least one super combat potion and at least one Sanfew serum. The super combat's obvious, and we'll talk about the Sanfew in the mechanics section in a bit. I'd stick to one of each whilst you're learning, and only start bringing more once you're comfortable doing 3 or 4 kill trips. You'll also need prayer potions. 4 is a good starting point. As you get cleaner kills and longer trips, you can scale that number up. Other than your switches, the rest of your inventory should just be hard food. Anglers are my go-to, but anything better than sharks is completely fine. We've already talked about teleporting here, so if you've got that Dragon's Medallion, bring it. If you didn't know, you can fully restore your stats by entering the Theatre of Blood and leaving immediately. It'll save you supplies and a teleport back to your house. We'll tackle all the mechanics that you need to be prepared for and break down the fight as much as we can to make it as simple as possible now. But first, if you're finding this useful so far, liking the video boosts my visibility and helps my videos reach the people that need them most. And whilst you're down there, hit subscribe if you want to see more from me. If you want an extra way to support the content, I've got a creator crafted discount code you can use for 10% off some super cool RuneScape merch. The code is 10boot. They've got some awesome desk mats designed by community artists, LED signs to brighten up your gaming setup, and loads of other awesome stuff. Cheers. To start the fight, just click on Nightmare to disturb her whilst she's asleep. If she's already floating with a symbol under her, that just means someone else is fighting her. Wait for the kill to finish and you can jump in between rounds. The fight seems confusing at first, but the rotation is actually really simple once you understand the loop. Nightmare has 2 health bars, a blue shield bar and a green health bar. During the blue bar, you hit Nightmare with melee to break the shield. Once the shield hits 0, her bar turns green. That's when you stop hitting her and switch to magic. In the green bar section, you'll charge the 4 pillars in the corners of the room. When all 4 are fully charged, they blast Nightmare for 1/3 of her total HP. Take the boss through 3 of each phase and the fight is over. Now, it's not quite that simple. You'll need to switch prayers for Nightmare's regular attacks, and then deal with her special attacks if you actually want to finish the fight. These happen in both the blue shield section and the green health section, so you'll need to always pay attention to what Nightmare is doing. Let's start with her normal attacks. Every one of them has clear visual cues, and if you're learning, having game sounds on helps a ton. Nightmare's ranged attack hits everyone in the room. It looks like Vecna's curse from Stranger Things. She contorts and you'll hear a really sharp bone-cracking sound. When you see or hear that, pray protection from ranged. Her magic attack also hits everyone. You'll see a swirl of pink cherry blossoms around her. That's your cue to pray magic. The melee attack is different. It only hits players standing in front of Nightmare. She'll focus on the player with the highest defense in the room. Then she'll slash forward. If you're in front of her, you need to get protection from melee on. If you don't want to deal with a melee prayer, the easiest solution is simple. Don't be the tank and stand behind her. If you are the tank, pray in melee and then only switching to ranged or magic when you need to is the best way to handle it. With the basic attacks covered, each phase will have its own set of special attacks that you need to deal with. 2 of these attacks happen in every phase, so we'll cover them first. For the grasping claws mechanic, Nightmare will shove both her fists into a black hole that spawns underneath her, then spawn smaller black holes around the room. You need to move to a tile without a hole on it immediately, before the claws come out. This is one of the more dangerous mechanics to mess up. It can hit for up to 50s, and it's probably the hardest to deal with. Next, the Sleepwalkers. After you charge the pillars at the end of each phase, Nightmare spawns Sleepwalkers around the edge of the arena that slowly walk towards her. You're guaranteed a 1-hit kill on these guys. You need to kill as many as possible. If you're in a group, it makes sense to spread evenly around the room, avoiding leaving any gaps. Once they're all dead, or they've been absorbed by the Nightmare, she charges a big power blast that hits everyone in the room. If you miss too many Sleepwalkers, it can result in a 1-hit KO. Dealing with these is always your number 1 priority. The next 2 attacks are phase 1 only. For the Husks, Nightmare spawns 2 of these little gremlin dudes on random players and freezes them in place until they're killed. They also will deal damage. The skinny blue Husk attacks with magic, and the big green one attacks with ranged. If you're frozen, you can kill the Husks yourselves, But other players should really be helping you out, and you should return the favour by helping them out too. The next attack is the Corpse Flowers. The room gets split into 4 quadrants with flower lines. One quadrant is safe. It will have the white flowers on both sides. If you stand in a bad quadrant, you'll take damage on every single tick. Usually I tell you not to stand in the shit on the floor, but you can stand on the pink flowers in this case. Attacking from the wrong quadrant also heals her. This is a pretty easy one to deal with. The only real concern is that you can end up with the boss facing you, so be prepared to pray melee. The next 2 attacks are ones that you'll see in Phase 2. For the Nightmare's Curse attack, your screen goes pink and your protection prayers get shuffled. You'll notice that if you click a prayer in your prayer book, a different protection symbol shows up above your character. Clicking on a prayer whilst this attack is live shuffles your prayers one to the left. Magic becomes ranged, ranged becomes melee, and melee becomes magic. This curse lasts for 5 nightmare attacks, then goes away on its own. If you're like me and can't count to 5, you'll see a little message pop up in the chat box letting you know when it's over. Still in Phase 2, the Parasites. Nightmare throws a parasite onto random players, and after about 10 seconds, it bursts out of you like a chest burster from the Alien movies for massive damage. If you drink a Sanfew or a Relatives Balm before it pops, the damage is way lower and the parasite spawns weaker. If you don't, it hurts really bad and the parasite is stronger. Quick tip, you can click the HP orb to weaken it instead of clicking the potion in your inventory. This is super handy for keeping that prayer window open. Once it spawns, kill it immediately. Parasites can heal the nightmare or even undo the pillar progress if you ignore them. We're in the final phase of attacks now. Surge can be lethal. Nightmare teleports to one edge of the room, then instantly surges across to the opposite side, running around like Naruto. If you're in her path, you can take up to 60 damage. Just step out of the way. It's very simple to do, but very deadly if you mess it up. Also in Phase 3, the Spores. These little mushroom-looking things spawn all around the arena. If you step within one tile of them, they explode and disable your run energy for a little while. They aren't particularly dangerous on their own, but if you get slowed when Nightmare decides to charge you, you're going to have a hard time getting out of the way. If you get hit by the spores, you can infect your team, so stay away from everyone. You can tell if your teammates are infected, they'll be yawning. That's all of the special attacks. I know it sounds like a lot, but in practice, you're usually only dealing with 1 or 2 things at a time. To summarise the full fight, prayer switching for normal attacks and dodging shit on the floor for the grasping claws for the whole fight. Each phase is split into 2 sections, the blue shield and the green health bar. Each phase is separated by the Sleepwalkers. You just need to kill them before they reach the nightmare. Phase 1 spawns in the Husks that freeze you in place and the Corpse Flowers quadrant area of effect attack. Phase 2 infects you with the alien chestburster parasite and muddles your prayers. And Phase 3 has the spores that disable your run and the Naruto run surge attack. And that's all you need to know to kill the Nightmare of Ashihama. Grinding her out is pretty fun as a group, but if you're ready to take it to the next level, Fasani's Nightmare is just next door. It's pretty much the same fight, but it's way more punishing with 1 or 2 extra spicy mechanics. I'm working on learning it right now, and once I've learnt it, I'll be releasing a full guide just like this one. So make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that if Fasani's is on your list too. As always, a huge shout out to my YouTube channel members and Twitch subscribers. Liking and subscribing is the best way to support the channel, but if you want to give that extra bit back, I do massively appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around, I'll see you next time.